Hello and welcome to Tea Talk.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome back. I'm here today with
Ellie Berry,
who does a YouTube channel on mental health.
Mental health and body positivity.
And a lot of great things, a lot of definitely necessary things. I think everyone should go check it out because we definitely need to learn more about that kind of, side of human life.
Now we're taking it more seriously. I don't know where the shift was, but now people are more wanting to talk about their mental health in order to break stigma. It's been such a stigma for a very long time, and so now to talk about it so openly, and the internet, which is now seen as a safe space for mental health, is very important for people to feel comfortable and to feel like it's okay to have their mental illness.
Yeah, now there's a lot more resources available, so it's a lot easier to find out about that sort of stuff. So
it is now, and YouTube has sort of become that space. When I was recovering, when I was 15, there was a small space of people who created just anorexia recovery content, which is what I suffered from when I was about 15 to 16. So it was really important for me to see all that stuff and notice it was seen as normal. It's okay to go through what your body's going through.
Yeah, and that really helps. I mean, saves lives.
It does save a lot. It keeps you going, basically.
Yeah, it's amazing what it's come down to.
Yeah.
So, my first question is, how did you decide to start, and why did you decide to start making content in the first place?
I suppose, when I was 15, I was going through a really dark patch of anorexia recovery. As stated before, I had an eating disorder when I was 15 and 16, and I was recovering, and I went through this one rocky patch of recovery binge eating, and I was consistently told it was wrong. How you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't go through this, this is a wrong part of recovery. But by going on YouTube and typing it in on the internet and finding all these people actually talking about that aspect, they were telling me that it was okay, it was normal, some people go through it, some people don't, there's no right or wrong way to recovery, and those types of creators helped me sort of keep on that really hard track of recovering almost and still being on that journey. And so when I was in a place mentally where I thought I could do this, which was 2 years ago, I thought I want to give something back. It sounds really cheesy, but I want to give something back to this community that helped me through the darkest and roughest patches. And because I have my theatre degree and I've been in theatre all my life, I wanted to make it seem more accessible, and so I started bringing in my own style to it. It has this very comedic, tongue-in-cheek sort of style to it, so it seems a bit different, because sometimes when you watch content like that, you can get a bit bulked, you can get a bit it's really hard to make that sort of stuff interesting for people. So
and I feel like a lot of people, the way they do it, it's almost disheartening. Actually, they're bringing very important issues to light, but the way that they bring it is very dark, and it makes it seem, the thing you need in that kind of moment is positivity, and you need to laugh in the face of adversity, right? So you can't bring yourself down. So your kind of content really helps that out, I think.
I suppose it depends on the creator themselves and what's their style and what their take is on it. And there are some really important parts of definitely eating disorder recovery, or just mental health in general, which you can't beat around the bush, and sometimes comedy just won't sort of take you there. You have to be quite serious. But then that video is then specifically very serious, and then if there's another video where you think actually there can be some positivity and comedy interchanged and interlinked with this, then I can use it.
One thing I wanted to ask is your style of content. How did you come up with that, and how do you put it into effect? You have a plan of how you want your video to look, and how do you go about making it?
So I suppose it's more, I visualize everything in my head. I'm a very visual creator, and I think about the acting style and the way that I want to talk. But as I learned throughout the course of my 2 years being on YouTube, I just can't suddenly switch on the camera and just like not have a plan and not talk about what I want to do precisely. I think I got very frustrated when I was in the beginnings and I would turn on the camera and I go, why can't I just say what I want to say? It's my life and I know what I want to say. But it turned out that I needed to have a structure, and then as time went on, I just got used to going, okay, I want to make this video, but what do I talk about? Write what I want to talk about. Okay, but how do we like make this entertaining, and how can we visualize this? And a lot of the acting that happens in the content, wherever I want to put it in, happens in my brain and in my head. And because I'm so used to basically doing a one-on-one acting with myself, I don't have to direct anyone, so I know what I want to do.
Yeah.
Whereas more recently, when I did a video with someone just for laughs and just laughs and giggles, really, I found it. That was an experience. I found that particularly hard to try and direct someone else when really everything was in my head, and they might not necessarily have said a line or done something that I would have wanted them to do because they're not in my head.
Yeah.
And so it's more, just visualizing what you want to see, and then writing what you want to like talk about, and where do things like slip in when you edit it, and when's the best time for it.
So mainly you try to, you go into a video with a goal in mind and a style in mind, and you try to script it to, using your degree and your past knowledge to try and script it in a way that shows off that.
Yeah,
So.
definitely. And most of like the stuff that I talk about, if I know what I want to talk about, it's not scripted, it's more improvised. And I quite like improvisation when it comes to creating a more relaxed sort of feel to a video.
The next question I have is, do you have any tips for people who might want to start doing these kind of videos? And like, is there any knowledge that you might want to pass on from your degree or from your experience on YouTube?
I suppose it's, if you're going to talk about mental health or body positivity or any aspect of that, it's you have to be really interested and passionate about that subject. Whether you come from a background of mental health or not, it doesn't really matter. It's a case of, are you passionate about it, and do you want to talk about it? Because your passion comes across in your videos, and audiences like that. They like that you're passionate and you want to talk about it. And also, if you have any skills or anything that you have, for me, I quite like comedy and I do a lot of acting through my degree, so I can use those skills to try and make videos either entertaining or interesting for creators and other audiences. And so if you've got anything, like if you can dance, you can sing, you can flamethrow, whatever. Like, use the skills that you have outside of your YouTube persona by just talking, and use those skills in your videos, and you might find that it's helps you talk about this certain aspect, whether that is making a dance based on mental health or something. Very important to use those skills.
Yeah, that'd be very interesting actually. How do you make a dance about?
I suppose it's
interpretive
interpretive dance, and the feelings, I suppose, of mental health and how it feels.
Yeah. It's very interesting. Yeah, but I guess you're right. You gotta put in something, a part of you into the video as well. Not just, you're not making a video for the sake of explaining something, because there's already enough of that. It's all about putting a part of your personality forwards, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, another question I always ask is, how do you plan on improving your content? Because nobody's content is ever perfect, even if you've been doing it for thousands of years, because that's possible.
So true. With the content, you can get quite comfortable in what you do and what you know, but there are certain ones that you sort of look at. Like, I have a project behind every month, and I look at it and I go, there are sometimes where a month just hasn't been really interesting. And then you have that, even though I get comments from people going, sometimes a month doesn't have to be interesting.
So is it more like reviewing your content before you finalize it, or things like that?
Yeah, more reviewing and seeing if like if it was like okay to put on the internet. And I know that I have so many projects that I look at and I go, oh, they were okay, or there was some that I just didn't have the heart in it. And sometimes you're sitting on like, I don't know, a 29 bus to wherever, and you go, oh damn it, that was a terrible idea, I shouldn't have put that on the internet, oh no. And then another part of me goes, I just don't know if I should ever like delete that off my channel, because a part of me goes, there's a thing that Tyler Oakley said where he's like, I don't want to delete anything off my channel because it was a progression of me as a creator and how I came to be. And so there's a part of me that goes, I mean, you could unlist it, but then I don't know, do I want that progression on my like YouTube channel, and will it then look like an authentic portfolio, if you will?
So the last question has to be, what are your goals for the future, and how do you this is always the tough one, you know, always the curveball at the end. And how do you plan on achieving your goal?
So I have two at the moment, one for YouTube, and then there is one off of YouTube, more of a podcast type thing that I'm desperate to try. One of them is I want to create more like short films and like videos based around my mental health and vulnerability. There has been a lot during this month where I have wanted to push into like my more like vulnerable, emotional, like creative side as a creator, and I've noticed that the projects that are more interesting to me are ones where I open up my emotional vulnerability for some reason into the internet. And I'd really love to grab other people who are interested in that sort of project and that content to help make a type of video like that. It's really difficult when, for me, where like something is so emotional and vulnerable, you then have to create a concept on it and you have to write a concept. But then someone to sort of say, ooh, if you like come back with like a more like concrete concept, when you think, but that is my concept, like that is my concrete concept. Or someone says no, and then you go, oh, that's a bit of my like emotional vulnerability you've taken there, thank you. So that's like always a downside, but it is a case of trying to find the right people that you trust and moving with them, working with them, and editing with them as well on the sidelines. And another one is I'd love to do a podcast about mental health with someone else who does mental health as well on YouTube. I've been working on this on my uni degree in terms of like hypothetical projects, so it's been like my marketing project, it's been my society project as well for both portfolios, and it's the idea of two hosts talking about mental health in a really like relaxed and comedic type way, because I really like using comedy, and it's really interesting, and just talking about it and sharing funny stories when we want to, and just having a good time making sure that the stigma of mental health is broken down, and that you know that it's okay to talk about mental health with anyone, or you know, with it being, if you don't feel like you can talk to anyone, it feeling a bit less invasive, so you can like listen to it and you go, I feel okay now, and then one day I'll be able to tell someone.
So if there's anything that you might want to add to people who are looking to create content like yours, or
I suppose for me looking at it is, you have to do this content when you're ready. Let's take the example that you might have a mental illness and you see these people talking about it, but you're frustrated because you're not in a brain space where I can talk about this right now, or you want to delve into some really emotional, vulnerable parts of yourself because you see other people doing it, but you're not ready yet. And I suppose the great thing about creating content like this is that it's a journey and it's your time. So as much as, you know, the journey sounds, you like, it's a like portfolio of like your journey through your mental health and where you are at what stage. You will know when you feel ready to pick up a camera and talk about it, and you will also know and feel when is the right time to pick up something quite vulnerable or anything. There are loads of things that I haven't talked about that are still quite vulnerable in my mental health, but it's a case of not feeling ready, and also I don't know how to do it in a way where it won't trigger another person, which is another thing that we have to look into, is triggers, and how can we talk about it in a way that's accessible to all, but at the same time don't go into it like a bull in a china shop and then you've like triggered maybe one person or many people.
Yeah.
So you have to pick and decide that. But you will, when talking about this, you will find that you will have you'll find the right times to talk about maybe some emotional and vulnerable parts of yourself when you're ready, or maybe when you're 2 years removed from the situation. And that's, I suppose, the great flexibility about this content is it's, how you want to present it and how you want to talk about it, and when and how it suits you as the creator.
Okay.
Hey.
Cool. That's great.
Hey.
Well, thank you very much. That was fantastic. Got some really quality content now.
Hey.
So yeah, obviously I'll be posting links in the description and everything, and hopefully making a little highlight reel of some of your content, if that's all right.
That's okay.
To put over the top, and then so go check her channel out. Subscribe, of course, and drop some comments if you guys are experiencing any type of mental health or anything like that. This is the place to be. This is the face to see and the place to be. Okay, thanks for watching. See you guys in the next video.